Hi guys, hope you're doing well. So in today's video, we will check out how much of a difference an external SSD makes, especially if you're editing videos and especially if you're on a Windows laptop. So if you're just starting out on YouTube and have just started to edit videos, then most probably most of us are on Windows laptops, and also we use softwares like Filmora9 just for the basic editing. And usually when we start out, not many of us have high-end laptops. We have low config laptops, and in this age also we might not have SSDs installed on our laptops. We still might have hard disk drives. Since you're here, many of you might already know what an SSD is, but if not, then let me just give you an overview of what an SSD is. So basically the traditional storage method is of hard disk drives, HDDs. So they actually have CDs inside them, and on that we read and write data. So this is a traditional way and a slow way of reading and writing data. And this is okay for your backup files if you're just storing data. But if you're using this for video editing, like for video editing, you actually have to render your clips and read them from the memory and also write them on the memory. So if you have 4K clips especially, or even higher than that, 6K or 8K, then traditional hard disk drives might be very slow, and also you might face a lot of stutters and lags, and then this will take away your smooth video editing experience, and also your app might also crash. So this is where the modern SSDs come very handy, because they don't have actual CDs inside them, and they are the modern way of storage. So they are very fast, and the read write speeds are much faster than the traditional HDDs. So I personally looked up this on the internet, like if I don't want to spend a lot of money and go for a very high configuration laptop as of now, if I just want to spend a little and get an external SSD, then would that really help me in making my 4K video editing experience much smoother? And by the way, I am also going to show you 8K statistics later in this video. As of now, I could not find any good video online that shows the actual statistics or the real world usage, real world benefits that you might get if you decide to buy an external SSD and edit your videos on that. And most of them are usually on Mac, and they focus on like getting extra storage, not the extra speed. So like on my low config laptop, for editing 4K videos is a real pain because it really lags a lot, it freezes, and 8K is just not possible. For our test today, I'm going to use Filmora9 because most of us video editors who just start with usually a simple software like Filmora9. One small tip I can give you is that first of all, you should install your software and all your video files and render previews on the drive which does not have the OS installed. For example, if your Windows OS is installed on a C drive, so it's better to install your software and keep all your render previews and all your videos on some other drive. So it takes away the load from the OS. So before we get on with the tests, I'm just going to tell you about my laptop configuration that I'm using currently. It's an HP 15GB laptop, and it has Windows 10 Home. It's operating on the Intel i5 7th Gen, which has a speed of around 2.5 GHz. It has 8GB RAM, and it has 1TB hard disk and no SSD. Also, one more important thing to mention is that it has USB 3.0 ports, not USB 3.1. If you have a more newer laptop and it has a USB 3.1, then your speeds might be more faster than what I'm getting. So let me tell you which clip I selected for this test. So if you have not seen my Mesmerizing City of Pune video, it's a 4K cinematic video that I shot. Do watch that video as well. So it's a 4K 60 FPS video, and it's roughly about 1 minute, but the actual footage was about 6 minutes. So I'm going to use a 6-minute footage for my test, as 6 minutes is pretty mean average time that you can say. It's not too less and not too much. And also I'm using a 60 FPS clip because most of us would actually shoot in 30 FPS, but we might also shoot in slow motion like 120 FPS to 40 FPS, or even super slow motion and go higher than that. But 60 FPS is pretty mean average that we can take. So it's also a heavy footage, but like not that heavy, so it will also give you an idea. So it had around 23,742 frames to be exact, that entire 6-minute clip. So what I'm going to do now is my software is installed on the C drive and all the videos are on the D drive. So what I'm going to do is Filmora has its render preview option. So what it does is, render preview basically means that, see, if you just import the clips in your timeline and then just play them, then it will play those actual clips. So your video might freeze and you might not be able to edit properly, which is why this entire video is there in the first place. But if you do that render preview, what it means that it will rendered the entire clip in the timeline and in a lower quality, whichever quality that you select, so that it has already rendered that preview in background. So when you play back, it will play it smoothly. So now on the hard disk drive, if we do the render preview of this video, then it takes about 6 minutes 30 seconds. Now what I did was that I moved all these clips to my SSD, external SSD. By the way, we are using a Samsung T5 500GB SSD for this video. And also I'm going to select the render preview directory as my SSD. So that render preview that it will do, it will write on my SSD. So surprisingly, this took more time, that is 7 minutes 18 seconds. And this might be due to that USB 3.0 port. If it was 3.1, it would have been much faster. But yeah, this is what the statistics are, and this might give you an idea like how much the port affects our experience as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install my entire software on the SSD, have all my clips on the SSD, and also the render preview directory will be on the SSD. So everything will be on the SSD itself. I will just use my laptop as a processor. So now, wow, I don't even need to do that render preview. I can just play 4K clips without any render previews. Just put them in a timeline and play. It does not lag or stutter. Although the render preview time is much higher now. It's 11 minutes 6 seconds. So this might be due to some other factors like interacting with the via the USB port. Maybe this was why the render preview time took more time, but I don't need to do that render preview in the first place now. Now what we'll do is we'll actually render the entire clip. So first what we did was did the lower quality render preview. Now we'll actually export this video, render this video into an MP4. So if we render this video into the C drive itself, then it took about 3 hours. And if we just render this video into a different drive, so I did on the D drive that I had, just a different partition of my HDD. So it took about 2.5 hours. So just by changing my drive, I mean not putting where the OS is, I saved half an hour. So usually for rendering the entire clip, I would just leave it overnight. But now let's see if I render the entire clip into an SSD, how much time it takes. And wow, it just took 43 minutes. 43 minutes 10 seconds to be exact. So for some reason the render preview that I was doing was taking more time, but exporting the entire video into the MP4 clip, which is basically what we need to do to have our video in the end, so that took very less time. So my time was reduced from 2.5 hours to 45 minutes approx, and it was a 3.8 GB movie clip. So there you have the statistics for the 4K. Now let's move on to 8K. I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, as you might already know, and it also shoots 8K footage. So what I did was, see, 8K is pretty heavy. I just took 15 seconds of 8K footage now. Rendering on the hard disk drive, just forget about it. I was not able to get it done, and it was hanging a lot. So unless and until I actually scale 8K down to 4K and then edit it, I can't actually work with 8K on the hard disk drive at the laptop configuration that I have. But on the SSD now, like I mentioned, for 4K, I did not even need to do the render preview. I can just put them in the timeline and just play. I was not able to do that for 8K, of course, because it's much heavier. So doing that render preview of that 15-second 8K clip took me about 1 minute, 59 seconds to be exact. And after that, I was able to play that 8K clip. Of course, now, yes, it has the render preview of a lower quality. So now what I did was, to test it more thoroughly, I added a 4K B-roll footage over on the top. And now when we render this or export this to an MP4, an 8K MP4, so it took about 4 minutes 20 seconds. And this was for a 15-second 8K clip, which is not bad. But yeah, those are the statistics in front of you now. So that's it, guys. I know maybe in this video we were getting too statistical and too technical probably, but that's how it is, and I'm sure that if you're into video editing, then this will help you a lot. So based on your laptop configuration, you can decide for yourself if you can just be sufficed with an external SSD, or if you really need to jump and put those SSDs, I mean replace your hard disk drive inside your laptop with an SSD. Now let me just quickly tell you my take on it. So the thing is that yes, it did make a lot of difference for me, but it was not an impressive difference. For example, after all discounts and stuff, I got this 500GB SSD for around 6K, 6,000 rupees. And for that price, the experience that I was getting was not that smoother. Like sometimes I still needed to like do that render preview thing even for 4K footage. It did work most of the time, but sometimes I need to do it. Probably if my footage is a lot heavier and I have a lot of layers on it. And also one more thing that you should keep in mind is that these are external SSDs. So if you're shooting footage from your phone or some other camera, then first of all, like you need to transfer to these SSDs and then work on your computer and then like transfer back. Probably you can connect your phone and the SSD together and save time, but then that transfer to and fro process is there a lot. And also in this process I understood that yes, this SSD stuff does make a huge difference, but there are also a lot of other factors like the processor, the RAM, and even your software of how optimized that is. Like Filmora9 would crash. I personally like DaVinci Resolve. I don't use it that much, but surprisingly, it does handle much better than Filmora and even Adobe Premiere Pro. It does not crash that easily, but yeah, it also hangs if your laptop has low configuration. So I would personally suggest, if you're getting a good exchange deal for a new laptop and if you're really serious and if you would really want a faster video editing experience, then do try to get a higher configuration laptop. But yeah, if you don't edit videos that much often, then an SSD will definitely help. It will definitely give you a faster experience. Might not be that impressive, but yeah, faster. So that's it, guys. Hope this video helped you, and do let me know if you have any comments and suggestions in the comment section below. And also let me know if this video helped you, because I think for all the beginner YouTubers out there, this video will really help them to understand what all hardware requirements they might need to edit their clips. So if you want more such tips on video editing, then do let me know in the comment section as well. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.